before we get started, I want to formally welcome you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, our county manager, staff of the library, department heads. Thank you guys so much for being here. It is indeed a pleasure to see all of you.
Just a couple of things about the North Cobb Regional Library. It's going to be a project funded by the gracious passage of the SPLOST by our voters. Roughly $8.6 million out of the SPLOST funds approved by the voters in the 2016 SPLOST are going to be earmarked for this consolidated library that is going to take the Kennesaw and Acworth branches and make one really special library. November of 2017, we approved a contract with Batson Cook for the design and the build of this facility. We think it's going to be a state-of-the-art lifelong learning facility. It's going to have state-of-the-art information resources as well as technology. Couple of things that'll set it apart from traditional libraries. We're going to have teen space with gaming and collaborative space kind of co-located within the library. We're going to have interactive spaces and an outdoor pavilion kind of geared towards children. We're also going to be basically incorporating some special features. I think if you have a chance to see the architecture that was out on the sign, we're really excited about the unique look that we're going to present along this portion of Blue Springs Road as well as Old 41.
I want everybody to pull out their library card. Say what you want about me. I have a library card. All right? And this is not my wife's. This is mine. It's really good to be here today. This is actually, I think, the second library event I've gone to the last 3 months. I'm a huge supporter of the libraries. I worked in a library when I was in high school. As many of you know, I spent 11 of my first 17 years living overseas, so I didn't have a car, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a television, I had the library, which is why I did so well in school. And I think the libraries, as I said everywhere, are the core of the foundations for a cultured society, and I'm really delighted that we're going to have this magnificent building here during my term. I want to also let the young kids, ladies and gentlemen over here to the side, who are Mayor Easterling's classroom. May God have mercy on you. Sorry, Derek.
It's all right. I got a round of applause if you wouldn't believe.
That's true. I got nothing.
He can give them a grade. That's right. It is an assessment.
But this is family. I'm glad you're here today to see how civic action works. This is a result of the people. This is the people's money that's been working here. All of us behind here, we work for the people. And we're delighted that we're going to be in this magnificent building here in the near future. So again, thank you very much. But this today is Commissioner Weatherford's day, and I yield the platform to him.
It's been a long time coming, and I think you can see today that this Board of Commissioners and our fellow commissioners, we're a huge supporter of libraries. We just try to do things that make it better. And I want to talk about a few facts about these two libraries that we're consolidating today, as well as a little history. As you might know, I was on the city council here in Acworth for many, many years, and we've been talking about that for as long as I was here about doing this particular one. We almost had it done about 10 years ago, Mayor Matthews and Mayor ALLEGOOD, but they were fighting over the name. One wanted Kenworth, and Mayor ALLEGOOD wanted Axall. So we decided that we would just wait until we found somewhere we could call it North Cobb Regional, and that made them both happy. So that's how we got here. But I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners and former County Manager Hankerson. I haven't seen former Commissioner Helen Gorham, but she was a big part of this as well. We need to thank her if we see her, because part of her vision as well when she was County Commissioner. We also have Miss Maxwell here today, which is one of our longtime Acworth residents, and I promised her that she would be at the ribbon cutting and I would pick her up and carry her to the library anytime she wanted. But I see her out a lot, and I'm kind of worried if I'm going to have time to do that. But Miss Maxwell, we're glad you're here, and the history and the knowledge that you have of our community is unsurpassed, and we're grateful for what you've done over your years here. So thank you, ma'am, very much. Just a little bit about the libraries, and these are facts you may or not know. In Acworth, according to Acworth history, Acworth Library was the first public library in Cobb County, although some people dispute that, I would think. But after 1944, the library was supported by the Cobb County Board of Education, the City of Acworth, and the Women's Club. It moved to the City Hall around 1963, and in 1963 the library became affiliated with the Cobb County and Marietta Public Library systems. In 1965, the bonds were issued for the building of a new library on Dallas Street at the cost of $73,000. It cost us that much to put this tent up today. Things were great back then, weren't they? Acworth Library was a full-fledged branch of the Cobb County Public Library system and was dedicated in 1967. So we get a lot of use out of our libraries around here, so that's been 50 years. The Kennesaw Library was one of the original branches built in 1967, and the library bond provided funds to construct 5 branches that included Kennesaw in 1967. Total cost to construct all 5, $238,000. Kennesaw was then expanded from 2,900 square feet to 6,100 square feet in 1989. So what you see and what you will see coming up out of the ground here will be something that we all won't live to see its end of useful life, but our generations coming after us will. Just like the last 50 years for these 2 great library systems, this new library will be something that we'll be proud of. We're proud of the legacy that we will leave behind. A lot going on in this area of Northwest Cobb in my district with this new library. We have a new public health center going on, the Acworth Parks and Rec Center that's going on, the addition to the senior center, and the ugly DDS building right down the road. The state did that one, I guess. So there's a lot going on here, a lot happening, and the new North Cobb additions across the street. And our vision here when we met with Helen and staff and Dr. McMorris was that this library would be a place for the kids to hang out, to come over and to see and look and do things that they couldn't do otherwise. And we're going to have a lot of places for them to come and study, and all they got to do is walk across the street. And I think that's a great thing. So it's my honor to represent this area, to be a small part of this new library, and we look forward to the ribbon cutting in hopefully 11 months instead of 12. Okay. Thank you very much.
It is an honor to be here, and on behalf of all of our citizens in our city, we are so excited about this great quality of life project. You know, life is a journey, but also building a library is a journey. And this journey, Mr. Hankerson, it began probably somewhere around 18 years ago, about the time that I was being elected into office for the very first time. And this has been a great, great journey. Just to give you a little bit of information that you probably don't know about this location is this library is the only library in Cobb County that at some point during the course of the journey, it's had 10 different locations. Is that right? And so 10 different locations. And let me tell you how we decided on this location. This is the truth. We took equidistant between the 2 libraries, where downtown library is in Acworth, the downtown library is in Kennesaw, and we drew an equidistant point between the 2 libraries, and it was right here. And this is exactly where we are today. So in the end, Mr. Matthews, there was no compromise. We actually had a real plan and put this thing together. We really are proud of this partnership, the SPLOST, all of the partners, all of the citizens in Cobb County that voted for SPLOST. See, they're all our partners in this project. And today we get to have the groundbreaking for a truly great quality of life project. And I'm reminded that this is what SPLOST is intended for. So for everyone at this gathering today, and for all of our citizens who have supported this great SPLOST project, we thank you for this great quality of life project. Helen, thank you for making us and allowing us to be part of the process, the planning process. And Dr. McMorris, we really appreciate being a part of that. Mr. Weatherford, thank you. Mr. Boyce, thank you. All the commissioners, thank you for allowing us to be part of the process, and thank you for being such great partners. We are really blessed. And we just appreciate from the bottom of our heart the opportunity that this library will bring to our citizens. Thank you so much.
And I am delighted to be a part of this with my good friends, with our partners that we have. But I'm even more excited for my 7th graders. And yes, that is my 7th grade class. Thank you for cheering for me. Extra credit.
Extra credit. I knew it.
this is a true milestone for the library system, because it demonstrates not just the collaborative effort that it took to get to this point, but it's significant because of the brick and mortar facility that we're going to build, that's going to be here to create the best public library system for the 21st century, for those kids over there. So I teach social studies, and I want them to be here because I wanted them to show them what history is. Much like your little library that you alluded to the fact that she was one of the first members. She doesn't look old enough to be one of the first members. But I want them to be here for the ribbon cutting, and I want them to be one of the first users of this great facility. Because I believe that the library is the future. And I believe that the person that said it best was Albert Einstein. The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. So I'm delighted to tell you that it's equidistant between two great cities and surrounded by the greatest people that this country has ever known. And with kids, they're going to make our future even better. Thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of it. Have a blessed day.
3, 2, 1.
Wait a minute. I'll tell you, Bob's just jealous because as a child he wasn't allowed to play in the sandbox. Tell him who's number 1. And I'll tell you, I have something else to say.